it seems like one of those things that's like they wanted something like cool and pretty and architecturally, but it's just kind of like, we're all gonna die. Hi friends, welcome back to Disabled in Nature. My name is Marissa, and thanks for joining me for this video today. Things have been a little, we'll say, heavy lately, so I thought that maybe we could have some fun together today. So we're gonna do the also popular tier list style video. I had my husband pull together some different examples of accessibility from around the internet, and I thought that it would be fun for me to rank them on a tier list. I've never seen any of these pictures before, so this is gonna be a genuine reaction from me. I think it'll be some fun. Give us all a laugh, because I know that I need one. So let's go. So first up, what are our tiers gonna be today? So if you've never seen one of these videos before, basically these tiers are going from S tier, which is the top one, down to E, down to failure tier, okay? So our first tier we have, which is the highest tier, is universal design. Universal design basically is this concept in accessibility where the thing is usable by everybody. So like a ramp instead of stairs, universally accessible bathrooms, just like something that can be used by everyone regardless of their ability or their disability. The second tier down is, close, but like just enough, and it's going to be ADA compliant. If you're not from the US, ADA stands for the Americans with Disabilities Act. It is the framework that we use for legal accessibility here in the States. It was passed in 1990, so it has a lot of flaws, and it really needs updated. So that fall into this ADA compliant tier are going to be like, technically legally accessible and correct, but they could be better. Next tier down, worse than ADA compliant, we're doing a little bit less, is we're accessible, but the ramp is in the back alley. If you're one of my wheelchair users out there, you know that even if you call ahead and ask, say, a restaurant if they're accessible, they'll say, oh yeah, we are. We have a ramp. And then you show up and it's like nowhere to be found. And so you have someone go in and ask, hey, where's the ramp? And they say, oh, it's around back. And then they take you around back into this sketchy alley to a ramp by an entrance next to a dumpster that leads you through the kitchen to get to the dining area. That's the vibe for this tier, okay? Next tier down, even worse. No disabled people were consulted here. Sometimes you come across a thing and it might be for like even in an accessible space and it's just completely unusable because clearly no disabled people were consulted here. I have a couple of examples in mind, but I don't want to spoil anything, so we'll see what examples he gathered. And then the last category we're gonna call the worst of the worst, and that is ableist/jail. These are just gonna be the most egregious examples of inaccessibility or just simply appalling behavior as far as providing accessibility for people. I'm particularly excited for this category. All right, in no particular order, let's get into it. Okay, so first up, we have a picture of a wheelchair accessible van. This appears to be a Toyota Sienna, which, how thoughtful. That's the kind of van that I drive, so that's probably why he picked this picture. I want to put this in the universal design category, but if you've been around this channel for a little while, you know that I went through a lot to get my wheelchair accessible van, and that's because they're so expensive. Like, they're so prohibitively expensive that not everybody can access them. But as far as like the product itself, it's really, really very good. So I don't know. I might change this later, and I'm sure you could talk me out of it in the comments, but I think even universal design has its flaws. So I do think we're going to put this in the universal design tier. S tier. We love a wheelchair accessible van. All right. Next. Oh my God. Jail. Jail, 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 jail. This is a picture that I and my other disabled people in northern climates know all too well. And that is a snow pile in the accessible parking space. For some reason, people think that accessible parking spaces are places for snowdrifts to go. And that's just simply illegal and ableist. And so it's going in ableist / jail for sure. That one makes me mad. Like, there's so many normal parking spots. Put it in a regular parking space. Why do you have to take the only ones that we can use? Rude. Okay, what's this? Oh my God. Wow. Wow. I'm speechless, honestly. Okay, so this one, it's a picture of a door and then a button to push the door open, like an accessible door opening button. But the button is at like the top of the door frame, where you'd have to be standing in order to. That's ridiculous. We're gonna put this one in. No disabled people were consulted here instead of ableist / jail, and I'll tell you why. That is only because, fun fact, push buttons for doors to open them automatically are not required by the ADA. So technically, no laws have been broken here, but clearly no disabled people were consulted at all. Oh my God. Okay, what's next? Okay, we have, oh, okay, so this seems good, like, it's, so what I think we're looking at here is, I don't know what to make of this, I'm be honest with you. I think it looks like it's a system for telling whether or not a bathroom is occupied, and it has Braille on it, which is great, and then little light up buttons. So I'm gonna put this in universal design, and I'll tell you why. Because you would think, why would they need, the purpose of this seems to be to tell people whether or not the bathroom is occupied. And I love that there's lights in addition to Braille, because I just do. I don't really know what's going on here. I've never seen something like this. If this is like something you see a lot outside of the United States, please let me know. But I like it. It's got Braille on it. And so if you can read Braille and then also have some light perception, you could see which light is on and then read the Braille if you can read Braille. I don't know. I think this is cool. I'll put it in universal design for now. I'm sure you can, I don't know, try to talk me out of it if it needs to go lower. Perf. What's next? Oh my. Okay, so clearly this is going in the ableist jail category. What I think we're looking at is a staircase with a ramp. Oh my God, this just gets worse the more that I think about it. Okay, first of all, this is a concrete staircase with a concrete ramp built into it that has the same slope as the stairs. This is in America, which, God, I hope not. Then, according to the ADA, a ramp needs to be no steeper than a 12-to-1 slope ratio. So 1 inch rise for every 1 foot run. And I that inches feet. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for all my metrics people. I have remorse for my country. But this is just like, so the slope issue is first all, and then like there's a gap. There's a gap in the middle of the turn. Like if you make one wrong turn, you're falling in that gap. Like personally, I use a 400-pound power wheelchair, and this is, no, absolutely not. Jail. Jail. Okay, next up we have this one. This is so bad, and for so many reasons, this is obviously like a screen cap from a website, and like, this will be particularly bad for our low vision friends. God, for so many reasons. So like, the background, first of all, is multicolored, which makes things really confusing. And then the text on top, you know, I wear glasses, but I'm not classified as low vision, and I can read the buy high quality smartphones from us label, but like, even I can't really read the blue text. Yikes. So like, for contrast and just readability reasons, this is not, low vision folks not going to be able to see this. And then if you're colorblind, forget about it. This could go in the ableist / jail category because there are web accessibility guidelines that you're supposed to follow, and these, like, with regards to contrast and making sure things would be accessible to people with color blindness. This doesn't seem as egregious as some of the other ones, but it's definitely going in the no disabled people were consulted here tier because, woof. I have to sneeze. Oh, sorry. Okay, what's next? Okay, the sign. No animals allowed except for service animals specifically trained to aid a disabled person. Great. Perfect. There's a lot of discourse out there about service animals lately and fake service animals. What can you do with an emotional support animal? What is the difference? Etc. So I love this sign because service animals are defined by the ADA in the United States as a dog or a miniature horse trained to do a specific task or work for a person with a disability, to assist them with their disability. I like that this sign says not just except for service animals, but it specifies kind of like what a service animal is, you know, specifically trained to aid a disabled person. I like it. We'll go with ADA compliant because that's what it is. Moving on. So in this one, we have a picture of a school bus with a lift on it, a child that uses a wheelchair getting on and off the bus with the lift, going to school. I think that's great. I think we're going to call it ADA compliant because that's what it is. But I also kind of want to give it a universal design because depends, I guess, whether or not she can ride that bus with her non-disabled friends. So we'll put it in ADA compliant because schools are required to provide accessibility like that for kids. All right, what is a classic? Lift out of order, please use the stairs or escalator. We know it all too well, don't we? I understand that elevators go out of order. And I would be very interested to know, I don't think I can see anything on this picture that would tell me, but I'd be very interested to know how long has this lift been out of order? I'm assuming because it's called a lift, this is in the UK or something, somewhere outside the United States because we call them elevators here. You know, I don't know what to do about this one because the lift is there. Like in theory, the accessibility was thought of and it's there, but it's just out of order. So I think we're going to put this in we're accessible, but the ramp is in the back alley. Because we're accessible, but the lift is currently out of order. What's next? Okay, so we have a sign that says no where, no when, and it has some sign language on it, which is interesting. That says no where, no when. And then it has like pictures of like a fire alarm and a fire extinguisher and an exit sign. Looks like maybe this is in like a school and it's helping to warn the children of knowing where and when to like look for things in the case of a fire. I mean, I don't mind the sign hands on here. Like that's cool representation for like deaf students, but like deaf people can read words on a page. So, I mean, and I was going to say maybe it's for deaf kids that can't read yet, but they can finger spell. But I don't know if that makes sense either. I'm not deaf or hard of hearing, so, like, I don't know how I feel about this one. It seems a little funky, but it could be fine. I don't know. So I'm going to put it in no disabled people were consulted here. But if you are deaf or hard of hearing and you feel super good or super bad about that one, you let me know. Oh boy. Okay. So this one. Okay. So what we're looking at is a big ass ramp. I don't know where it leads to, but it's just a gigantic ramp that's like goes up like 20, 30 feet. I'm going to put this one in ADA compliant because they did their darndest, their best. And this ramp does look compliant. So, like, the slope looks good. So every 30 feet in order to be ADA compliant, a ramp needs to have like a rest, like a flat area. So someone in like a manual chair can rest so they don't have to like, fall back down the ramp. So this one does appear to have the rest areas in the middle. I'm going to put it under ADA compliant rather than universal design because, like, I feel like there could have been a better solution to this, either like a lift or wherever this is going. Like, if it could have been put, I don't know. This isn't great. Like, as a wheelchair user, I would be happy that I'd be able to get to the top of wherever this thing is going, but to have to go all the way up, zigzag it around like that would be rather cumbersome. So we're just going to put it in ADA compliant because, like, it's fine, but kind of weird. Okay, what's next? Oh, so this is an accessible kayak launch. Looks great. I've never used one myself. I don't think I have the upper body strength to be able to do that. But, like, there's a place to park wheelchair. There's, like, steps to booty scoot your way up and down back from the kayak. And I think this looks great. Universal design. Love it. Okay, so this is a picture of a closed captioning device at a movie theater. And I'm going to put this one in ADA compliant rather than universal design because I have heard a lot of people in the deaf and hard of hearing community advocate for open captions, which is where, like, the captions are on the screen that the video is playing on rather than having to have this device. And I've heard that they prefer that because it's easier to, like, watch the film and read the text at the same time to have a better experience and to better know what's going on. And also I hear that movie theaters either don't always have these devices or they, like, break a lot. But it's great that access is available, but it's not perfect. So it's going in ADA compliant. I've seen this picture before. It's jail, obviously. Ableist jail. Do I need to explain? I don't think so. What is the... I wouldn't sled down that slope, let alone push or drive a wheelchair up or down it. Also, I love that it has the little accessible sign on it. So it's like, just in case you didn't know what this is, it's supposed to be a ramp. God. Jail. Okay, we've got another built-in ramp to a staircase. Here's what I feel about this one. Is, like, as far as the ramp goes, I feel like it's fine. I think you're supposed to have a railing alongside a ramp, like you have railings alongside stairs. But, like, I feel like it's okay. The slope might be a little steep, but I can't really tell. I'm gonna put this in no disabled people were consulted here. But what I mean for this picture is no abled people were consulted here, because this looks so dangerous for someone that can walk upstairs. Like, this looks so dangerous. If you're one of the walkers, don't use this. Don't go find the elevator. It seems like one of those things that's like they wanted something like cool and pretty and architecturally, but it's just kind of like we're all gonna die. Okay, what's next? Ooh, a bathroom. Okay. So this, oh no. Okay, so my brain was registering all of the, what? Gets worse the more I look at it. So my brain was registering, like, all of the elements of an accessible bathroom that you need. You need space next to the toilet to do a side transfer, if that's how you transfer. You need grab bars. You need the handle of the toilet on the side where the gap is so that you can actually reach it. And this stall has all those things. So I was like, okay. But if you notice, the grab bar and the toilet paper are across the gap from the toilet. What in the world? And there's also supposed to be grab bars like on the back. But so the grab bars in this situation should be like on the back and then on this other wall over here. And this toilet paper dispenser should be on the wall over here. Or they need to move the toilet over here and have the space. Oh my God. I think that if I were to roll into this stall, I mean, hey, it's big enough, so that's cool. But if I were to roll into this stall and like try and use it, I think I would laugh and leave. So this is going in. No disabled people were consulted here because clearly they were not. All right. What do we have here? Ooh, a beach. I love this one. I'm jealous. So this is a picture of a beach with what's called a Moby mat on it. And these are like mats that go over the sand that allow wheelchair users and other people like who have strollers or any wheeled items to more easily traverse over the sand. Or I guess if you're just unsteady on your feet, this would help you walk over the sand too. I do love this. I do. I want to put it in universal design because it is so rare to find a beach with one of these things. Like we used to live in Florida, like 20 minutes away from the ocean, and we almost never went to the beach because I simply couldn't get onto the sand. And we tried a couple of times with friends, and it was quite the ordeal that involved dragging my wheelchair across the sand and carrying me like a sack of potatoes, which I did not enjoy. I think I want to knock it down to ADA compliant because it doesn't go all the way out to the water. If this is here, like you can use it, you can get on the sand, but if you want to go into the ocean with your friends, with your peeps, with your fam, you can't. So we'll put it in ADA compliant because you lost the point for not going all the way. What's next? Okay, this is cool. So what I think this is that it's how I interpret this picture might depend on where it goes. So this looks like a platform lift. So I think that should like fold down. So it's like a platform that you can drive a chair up onto. And then it will take you up and down this staircase in your chair. I don't see like a readily available mechanism to be using it. There's like this box down here on the floor that I don't know what that does. So, like, there's clearly this sign up here on the wall that tells you, like, what this thing is. But it's folded up. Like, it doesn't look usable. So, is it out of order? Like, do you need to go find an attendant to, like, get a key to use it? I think that maybe that's how I'm going to interpret it. And in that case, we're going to put it in where accessible, but there's a ramp in the back alley. Because if someone can't use something independently, then it's not really accessible. And so like you tried really hard, but it really needs to be readily accessible for somebody. Okay, we've got two more. Okay, so this is a diagram depicting how a hearing loop system works. And that's basically like people who use hearing aids. It's like a system that if they go to a presentation or the theater, like a live theater performances, that they can use to better, like they can connect their hearing aid to it and they can better hear the performance or the presenter. I think that this is great. I think that this is something that every venue that has those kind of events should have, you know, along with other things like sign language interpreters or captions. Not everyone that is deaf or hard of hearing has a hearing aid or has a type of hearing aid that connect to the system. So you need other things, but I love that the system exists. So it's going in universal design because it's pretty good. All right, last one. Ooh. This is a good last one. This is beautiful. I love this. I want this in my house someday. What this picture is of a spiral staircase, and in the curve of the staircase is a glass elevator that will take you up to the next level. And I love this because I could imagine like walking into a fancy place like this and there being a spiral staircase that goes to, you know, the exclusive private club upstairs, but I can't get to it because there's no elevator. Or like you have to go find like the service elevator or something. Like a spiral staircase is fancy, right? It's a fancy ordeal. And so like if everyone else gets to arrive to the gala up the spiral staircase. I want to arrive to the gala up the glass elevator. 10 out of 10. I love this. Universal design. 100%. Okay, well, that was fun. There were some pictures in there that I've seen before that I wanted to react to, so I'm glad that he pulled those. But some that I was really surprised by and that I really hated, but also some really good ones. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Let me know if you would put anything in a different tier than I did. And if you want to send me pictures of your horrifying, inaccessible encounters in the world, or your great accessible encounters in the world, follow me over on Instagram and send me a message including those pictures, because I would love to see them and maybe do another one of these, including all of your pictures and your finds. So thanks for watching. Maybe next time we'll go outside. It's getting better here in Michigan, but it's still kind of winter yuck. Blech. My parents got me a drone for Christmas that I have yet to test out, so maybe we'll go look for that. Hope that you're doing well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're finding moments to find laughter and joy as the world is crumbling before your eyes. Until next time, don't forget to get outside, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.